Welcome back, fifth graders. Here we go. More multiplication with area models. This is lesson 6. And so we're going to continue using an area model to find those partial answers to multiplication problems so that we can solve our multi-digit multiplication big number problems. So let's get started. Turn to lesson 6 and we will get started with the first problem. So just like what you're doing in the concept development and your last lesson that we did together, we're going to be drawing an area model. That's one thing. We're going to solve using standard algorithm. That's another one. And we're going to be using arrows to show that we're matching our partial products from our picture to the standard algorithm. So let's get started. We got 48, multiply it by 35. We're going to take 48 and we're going to break it up. We're going to say we got 40 and we've got 8. So 40 plus 8 is 48. We're going to draw a line so that shows that the 40 area is bigger than the 8 area. And we're going to take 35 and we're going to take our ones first. We got 5 ones. That's going to be smaller than our 30 or our 3 tens, which is going to be down below. So 30 and 5 is 35. And so we're going to be multiplying and finding our partial products. So we're going to go ahead and do 5 times 40. Well, 5 times 4 is 20. So 5 times 40 is 200. And then 5 times 8 is 40. And we can go ahead and now add those two together. We get 240. Over at standard algorithm, we're going to say, okay, we're starting here at the 5, and we're going to do the 5 times the 8, and then the 5 times the 4. And we're going to be doing some borrowing, not borrowing, we're going to be doing some regrouping. So 5 times 8 is 40, so we're going to bring the 4 up on top, and we're going to bring our 0 down. And now we have 5 times 4, which is 20, and we're going to add the extra 4 up on top. We're adding that. We're not multiplying. So 5 times 4 is 20. Add 4 more. We get 24. So our first partial product do match each other. Now here's where I see a lot of fifth graders get super confused. They don't take the time to, we're done with the ones and crossing it off. And they don't take the time to cross off the numbers up on top, just one slash, so that you can just say, hey, I've already used it, I'm not going to use it again. So try to get in the habit of doing that. And now we're going to go to the 3 tens. So we're going to be starting in the tens column, which is underneath the 4. That means we need a 0 placeholder right there in the ones column. And let's go over back to the area model to do some more math. So we got 30 times 40. So 3 times 4, let's think of that, that's 12. And we add 2 zeros for 30 times 40, and that would be 1,200. Now we do 30 times 8. 3 times 8, hopefully you know, is 24. So 30 times 8 is 240. So now we have 1,200 plus 240, and that would give you 1,440. Let's see if that's what we get when we do the other standard algorithm off on the right hand side. We're starting with the 3. 3 tens times the 8. That's going to be 24. That means we're going to take the 2 and we're going to add it above the 4 up on top and bring the 4 down for 24. And now I do 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 2 more is 14. So the 4 goes underneath the 2, and the 1 actually goes in the thousands place, and it's out in front of the 4. Those are my two partial products. I need to draw my arrow showing that they match, and I need to now find the final product of adding them all together. 0 plus 0 is 0, 4 plus 4 is 8, 2 plus 4 is 6, and 1 plus nothing is 1. So I have 1,680 as my first answer to 1A. Now for 1B, same thing. Let's do an area model first. taking 648 and breaking it up, we've got 600 and we've got 40 and we got 8. Draw your lines respectively for the size of each number. Take 35, you have 5 as your first number, and then you have 30 as the second number that we're going to multiply. Draw your line across. So here we go. We've got 5 times 600, so 5 times 6 is 30, and then add the 2 zeros to get 3,000. 5 times 4 is 20, add your 0 to get 200. 5 times 8 is 40. Oops. And now we're going to add 3,240 in just how I said it. That's how we're going to write it, 3,240. Now let's go over to the standard algorithm and practice renaming or regrouping up on top, because we're going to be doing the 5 times the 8. The 5 times the 8, that is 40. So we're going to do 4. And on top of the tens, which is the 4, bring down your 0 in the ones column. 5 times 4, that's 20, and you're going to add 4 more. That's going to be 24. So bring the 2 in the hundreds column, bring your 4 down. And now we're going to do 5 times 6, that's 30, and then add the 2 up on top, and that's 32. So you're going to put the 2 in the hundreds column and the 3 in the thousands column. So now we're done with the ones. So I'm going to, in black, I'm going to cross off, hey, I'm done multiplying by the ones, and I'm crossing off my numbers up on top so I don't get confused when I have to do it again with a different number. And I'm going to be doing the tens, so that means my number needs to start in the tens column, which means I need a 0 placeholder right there in the ones column so I can start my answer in the tens column. Back to the area model. We have 3 times 6, that's 18, but 30 times 600 means you add 3 zeros, so you have 18,000. 3 times 4, that's 12, but 30 times 40 is 1,200. And then 3 times 8 is 24, and 30 times 8 would be 240. So you have 18,000, 1,200, 240. Now, this is where a whiteboard might come in handy if you cannot add these numbers mentally in your head. You might need to go on your whiteboard. Right now I'm doing it on my, just the side, keeping everything lined up so that nothing gets in the wrong place value. Because if you add here wrong, that means your part of your answer is going to be wrong and the overall answer will be definitely wrong. So we have 0 ones, 4 tens, we have 4 hundreds, we have 9 thousands, and we have 1 10,000. So we have 19,440. So let's see if that's what we get over here when we start multiplying by the 3. Now, I'll do that in red. 3 times 8 is 24. So the 4 goes right there, and the 2 goes into the tens column above the 4. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. So you're going to put a 1 in the hundreds column, and you're going to bring the 4 underneath the 2. Then you have 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 more is 19. So 9 goes underneath the 3, and the 1 goes up in front. And look, they do match, and I realize we didn't do an arrow for the first partial product, but those two partial products do match, so I'm on the right path. Now I need to add them together. 0 plus 0 is 0, 4 plus 4 is 8, 2 plus 4 is 6, 9 plus 3 is 12, so bring the 1 to the thousands, 1 to the 10,000s, 2 in the thousands, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So you have 22,680. All right, so for number 2, we just want to practice more standard algorithm. And so we're not going to do area model. Let's do 2B. So I'm going to write 958, and I'm going to multiply it by 94. And so here's where we kind of need to know how to figure out our basic multiplication facts or have a strategy to find it when we have to multiply numbers if we don't know it. So it's super important because if we make a mistake in part of the problem, our final answer is going to be wrong. So we're going to start with the 4 in the ones, and we're going to multiply 4 times 8, 4 times 5, and 4 times 9. So 4 times 8, that is 32. So 3 goes on top of the 5 in the tens column, and 2 goes in the ones column in the answer for the partial product. Then you have 4 times 5, that's going to be 20, and you're going to add the 3 more to get 23. So that means there's 2, and there's the 3 in the tens column. And now I'm going to do 4 times 9, that's going to be 36, because I know 4 times 10 is 40, so 1 less 4 than 40 would be 36. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 more is 38. So I'm going to put my 8 there and my 3 in front. Now, the habit is cross off the ones, we're done multiplying them. Cross off the numbers up on top, we're done using them. Put a 0 placeholder in the second partial product so that we can go ahead and start multiplying by the 9s. Quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to list my multiples of 9 super fast. Probably did it in a previous video, but what you do in the ones column, you start with the 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's the ones. In the tens column, you start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now you can see all of the multiples of 9 from 1 all the way down to 10. That's going to help us when we need to do this 9 right here. 9 times 8. 9 times 8, well, that's going to be right here. That's going to be 72. So that means 2 goes in the tens column. The 7 goes above the 5. Now, 9 times 5. Well, 9 times 5 is going to be 45. And then you're going to have to add 7 more to it. So 45 plus 7, that's going to give you 52. So 5 goes up on above the 9, and the 2 goes into underneath the 8. Then 9 times 9, that's going to be all the way down to 81 right there. So 9 times 9 is 81, plus 5 more is going to be 86. So 8, and then, 6, and then the 8. Then you add those together. You get 2 ones, 5 tens, 10 hundreds, which means you do your 0, and then you have to regroup and bring 1 up on top. 6 plus 3, that's 9, plus 1 more is 10. So bring your 1 over to the 10 thousands, 0 down in the thousands, and then 1 plus 8 is 9. So our answer is 90,052. And let's go down to D. We have 547, and we're multiplying by 64. So I'm starting with this 4 right here in the 64, the ones. 4 times 7 is 28. So I'm going to put my 2 up on top and my 8 down. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 more is 18. So the 1 goes above the 5, and the 8 goes underneath the 6. Also, try to make sure all of your numbers are lined up in its right place value. Otherwise, if one answer shifts over to a different place value because you're squeezing numbers in, you're going to get a wrong answer. So it's really important to keep everything lined up. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 more is 21. So I'm going to put a 1 in the hundreds and then the 2 in the thousands. I'm done multiplying the ones, crossing it off, and I'm crossing off my numbers up on top. I'm putting a 0 in the ones place value for the next partial product because I want my answer to start in the tens. So now I'm going to start multiplying by the 6 with the 7, the 4, and the 5. So I went ahead and quickly wrote the first 10 multiples of 6 for us to help us do the multiplication problem. Remember, try to find your own strategies when you have to do like a test or a quiz, because this will not be there for you. So you got to kind of use your resources. So you can list them out like this, but you might want to start memorizing your multiples of 6 and 7s and 8s and 9s, so you're a little bit faster. So we got 6 times 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. So I do a 2 on the bottom, bring the 4 up on top. 6 times 4, well, that's going to be 24. And you're going to add 2 more. That's going to be, 4 more, and that's going to be 28. 6 times 5, that's easy. That's 30, and you add your 2 more. So the 2 goes in the thousands, and then the 3 goes in the 10,000. So there's our second partial product, and now it's time to add. 8 minus the 0 is 8 ones. 8 plus 2, that's 10. So you're going to take your 0, and then you're going to bring your 1 up. And then you're going to do 8 plus 1 plus 1, that's 10 again. So you're going to bring your 0 down and bring your 1 up. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. And then 3 plus nothing is 3. So you have 35,008. So let's look at this word problem about a carpet. So let's read carefully to understand what we need to figure out. So a carpet costs $16 a square foot. So a rectangular floor is 16 feet long by 14 feet wide. That's how long the floor is. And they want to know how much would the cost to carpet the floor. So this is going to be a two-step problem here. So we want to make sure that we do this carefully. So let's kind of visualize. If we have a rectangular floor, let's draw this out, that needs carpet. Now this is 16 feet long, so we'll put 16 feet right here and 14 feet wide. Okay, and so what we need to do is we need to carpet. We want to carpet this floor right here. Well, this is the area that we need to fill with a carpet. So we need to figure out how much square feet is all that yellow space, and we don't know right now. We need to figure that out. So it's just like an area model for multiplication. That means we have to do 16 times 14. So let's go ahead and do 16 times 14 and multiply the 4 times the 6, that's 24. So 2 goes above the 1 in the tens column, and the 4 goes in the ones. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. So our first partial product is 6. And now I'm done with the ones in the 14. I'm going to cross off my number up on top so I don't get confused. I know I need a 0 placeholder because my answer needs to start in the tens. So 1 times 6, 1 times 6 is 6, and then 1 times 1 is 1. So my second partial product is 160. Add those up really quick. That's 4 ones. That's going to be 12, and that's going to be 200. So we have 24. So the area is 224 feet squared. Okay, so that's what's the area of the floor. So a carpet costs $16 a square foot, and we have 224 square feet. And so we would take 224, and I'll do it in red, 224, and multiply it by $16, and that's going to tell us how much our cost is to carpet the floor. So 6 times 4 is 24, so carry your 2, bring down your 4. 6 times 2 is 12, plus the 2 more up on top, that's 14. Bring down your 4, carry your 1 to the hundreds. 6 times 2, that's 12, the last 2 in the hundreds, that's 12, and then add 1 more, and that's 13. There's our first partial product. Once again, I'm crossing off the ones in the 16. I'm crossing off my numbers up on top so I don't get confused. I'm putting a 0 placeholder because I need to start my answer in my second partial product in the tens column. And now I'm going to do 1 times 4, and that's 4. 1 times 2, that's 2, and then 1 times the other 2, is 2. And I have my second partial product, add those together, and I have 4, 8, 5, 3. So this is $3,584 to carpet the floor. So let's answer that question in sentence form. So let's remember, how much would it cost to carpet the floor? Here's our sentence. It would cost $3,584. My dollar sign needs to be included, or you write the word dollars after your number, to carpet the floor. And that would be my final answer to this word problem. And that last word problem for this lesson is number 4. The general admissions to the American Museum of Natural History is $19. If a group of 125 students visit the museum, how much will the group's ticket cost? So it looks like 125 students are going to go to the museum, and a ticket to attend or to enter is $19. So we're taking 125 and we're multiplying it by $19 to find the total group's ticket cost. But how about, let's go ahead and use some of that strategies of the mental math we did a couple lessons ago to solve this problem. Because I know that if I did 125, instead of doing it by $19, I'm going to do it by $20. I'm going to go up 1. And then I'm going to say, okay, once I find the answer, then I'm going to go ahead and do 125. I'm going to take away 125. So that would be $19. So mental math, you have 125 times 20. That means you're going to do 125 times 2, or you're going to double 125. Or you can think of it as like $1.25 or $125. And when you double that, that's going to be $2.50. But then we got to make sure that we add that last 0 and 20 to make it 2,500, because 125 times 20 is 2,500. And then I'm going to take away 125 away from that. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I don't want those zeros. I want to make them 9. So I'm going to take 1 away from 2,500 and make it 2,499. And then take 1 away from 125 to be 124. And that will give me the same answer as this right here. So let's go ahead and subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5, 9 minus 2 is 7, 4 minus 1 is 3, and 2 minus nothing is 2. So the answer that I would get is 2,375, and that would be money, since we're talking about money. And I quickly just found the cost using some mental math strategies that we learned in the previous lessons. And now let's write our sentence out for the question, how much will the group's tickets cost? So answering that question, the group's tickets will cost $2,375. Dollar sign in front, or the word dollars in the back, with a sentence ending punctuation mark to complete your sentence. And then we'll go down to the second part of question number 4 that adds some more complexity to our problem. And whenever we see like a 4A and 4B, 4B usually builds off of A. So if we do the answer correctly in A, that most likely we will be able to be successful in B. If something's messed up here in A, that means our B is probably not going to turn out to be the correct solution or the correct answer. So B says, if the group also purchases IMAX movie tickets for an additional, so they're adding $4 per student. The question says, what is the new total cost of all the tickets? They want us to write an expression, that means write the problem out, that shows how we calculated the new price. So we're not going to just mentally do it in our head. We just kind of have to show our thinking. So let's think about this. there is 125 students, and to get into the museum, it was $19. So they also are going to buy the IMAX movie tickets for an additional $4 per student. So it looks like I would actually take my $19 and add it with the $4, and we would do that first to find what the total would be and then multiply it by 125. So when I take 125 and I multiply it, I need to find the sum of 19 and 4. 19 and 4 would give me 23. And now I have 123, divide or multiply it by 23. And now I'm going to do this one standard algorithm for more practice. I could do some mental math strategies, but I chose to do standard algorithm. And now I'm going to go ahead and multiply 3 times 5, that's 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7, and 3 times 1 is 3. So the first partial product is 375. I'm going to cross off my ones. I'm going to cross off the numbers up on top. And then I'm going to put my 0 place holder down in the ones in the second partial product. And I'm going to make sure my number starts in the tens column. Because 2 times 5 is 10. Carry my 1 and bring down the 0. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5, so the 5 goes underneath the 3, and the 2 times 1 is 2. So my second partial product is 2,500. Add those up really quick. We got 5, 7, 8, and 2. So it looks like the total cost of all the tickets would be $2,875. So we want to make sure we write our sentence out. So our sentence should be something very similar to the new total cost of all the tickets is or will be $2,875. Okay, so make sure that you have your sentence down before ending the video. And just like any video, if I could do fast, you have that luxury of hitting that pause button to pause me to get caught up so we can continue on together. And that ends this lesson for lesson 6, module 2. I'll see you on the next video, guys.